Buckle up because billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban is shaking up the medical world with a radical new healthcare proposal that could change your life. Cuban is pushing for a specialized bank account model where your monthly premiums work for you instead of vanishing into the pockets of massive insurance companies. By shifting cash into a structured savings account that earns interest, he wants to prove that you can protect your wallet while securing top-tier direct primary care.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Then we are heading inside the high-stakes battle against drug shortages that have left families like the Zastaples in a state of constant panic. When critical medication for childhood leukemia becomes impossible to find, every delay is a nightmare for parents waiting on shipments from overseas. That is exactly why Mark Cuban and his company Cost Plus Drugs are stepping up with modular manufacturing units built right here in the United States to fight back against the supply chain chaos. Think you know how a billionaire would spend a massive windfall? Think again, because Mark Cuban has a shocking take on what to do with $100,000. He is skipping the flashy tech stocks and crypto bets in favor of becoming financially fit through old-school, common-sense moves that build long-term stability. From slashing high-interest debt to bulk buying household goods at deep discounts, he is breaking down his exact strategy to ensure you are ready to pounce when the perfect investment opportunity arrives. Finally, we have the latest on how Mark Cuban is helping Real Housewives star Brandi Glanville battle back against staggering medical debt. By exposing the massive price discrepancies in the pharmacy world, Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs is proving that transparency can save patients up to 80% on their life-saving prescriptions. We are diving into how you can advocate for your own health and keep more money in your pocket today. If you want to stay ahead of the latest news and money-saving hacks, hit that like button and subscribe with the bell notification turned on. Ever feel like your health insurance is just a monthly bill you can never actually pay off? Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban is calling out that exact trap, and he has a radical new plan to flip the script on how we handle healthcare in America. Imagine a world where your monthly premiums aren't just vanishing into an insurance company's profit margin, but are actually building wealth for your future. Cuban's proposal is as simple as it is bold. Take that monthly premium you're already paying for an ACA Silver plan, say $2,100 for a family of 5, and redirect it. Instead of handing it all over to a massive insurer, he suggests putting $300 toward a stop-loss policy for major emergencies and another $200 into direct primary care for your everyday checkups. The real kicker. The remaining $1,600 goes straight into a specialized, interest-bearing savings account for your medical needs. If you don't use it, you keep it. By the time you hit 65, that account could be a massive nest egg instead of just a stack of paid receipts. It's a direct shot at the insurance giants who Cuban argues are strangling the system with confusing deductibles and bloat. He believes cutting out the middleman could shave 30% off your costs just by eliminating billing administrative waste. Now, the question is, are we ready to move from a system that ensures risk to one that actually builds health and wealth? What do you think? Is this the fix we've been waiting for or just another pipe dream? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve on financial shifts like this, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives. Imagine your child is diagnosed with cancer, a parent's absolute worst nightmare. You prepare for the grueling treatment, the needles, and the emotional toll, but then you are hit with a reality that feels like a cruel, added punishment. The life-saving medication your child desperately needs simply isn't there. This isn't a dystopian fiction. It is the terrifying reality for families like the Zastaples. When young Brighton was diagnosed with leukemia, his family expected a clear path to healing, not a constant, 2-week cycle of holding their breath, waiting to hear if his next dose would be available. So why is this happening in one of the wealthiest nations on Earth? The answer lies in a fragile, globalized supply chain. We rely heavily on overseas manufacturing, and when a single plant, like the one in India, shut down for a cascade of failure, goes dark, the ripple effect is immediate and devastating. In 2023 alone, we saw over 300 active drug shortages, forcing doctors to delay treatments and halt clinical trials. It is a system failure where, frankly, price has been prioritized over reliability and human life. Enter Mark Cuban. The billionaire entrepreneur is trying to rewrite the rules with his company, Cost Plus Drugs. They are taking an innovative, almost scrappy approach, using modular manufacturing trailers that can pivot production from one drug to another in just 4 hours. It's built for speed and, more importantly, for stability. Brighton is now cancer-free, and he hits on the core of the issue. Manufacturing these drugs in America doesn't just ensure supply, it enforces the high standards that keep patients safe. But make no mistake, the road ahead is steep. High regulatory costs and an entrenched system that favors the lowest bidder remain massive hurdles. What do you think? Should the government subsidize domestic manufacturing to end these shortages once and for all, or is this a problem the free market needs to solve on its own? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more investigations into the systems that shape our lives. At the end of the day, a patient's survival shouldn't depend on a supply chain that spans the globe. It should be guaranteed. What would you do with a sudden $100,000 windfall? Most of us dream of picking the next explosive tech stock or diving headfirst into crypto, hoping to strike it rich overnight. But when billionaire investor Mark Cuban was asked this exact question, his answer wasn't about the stock market at all. It was about something much more grounded, and frankly, it's the kind of advice you don't expect from a Shark Tank legend. Instead of chasing speculative market gains, Cuban's strategy focuses on building a foundation of financial armor. He argues that before you try to beat the street, you need to eliminate the leaks in your life. We're talking about crushing high-interest debt and getting your household expenses under control. It's not flashy, but it's the ultimate life hack for stability. Think about it, Cuban famously suggested buying essentials in bulk, like soup or toothpaste, to secure a 30% discount. I know, it sounds a bit trivial for a billionaire to talk about toilet paper, but stay with me here. If you buy in bulk, you aren't just saving pennies, you are effectively hedging against inflation. When the price of everyday goods creeps up by 3% or 4% year over year, the money you saved by buying in bulk at yesterday's prices is an immediate, guaranteed return on investment. That's a gain you can count on, unlike the volatile swings of the stock market. Plus, unlike a bad stock pick, you can't really lose your investment in toilet paper. It's a consumable asset that will never hit zero. The real genius here is the concept of liquidity. Cuban emphasizes keeping your remaining cash in an accessible account. Why? Because while others are locked into long-term investments or stuck paying interest on credit cards, you are liquid, stable, and ready to pounce when a real opportunity, like a great piece of real estate or a business deal, actually presents itself. You're playing the long game while everyone else is playing catch-up. Ultimately, this is about shifting your mindset from a spender to an investor, starting right in your own pantry. Once your debt is gone and your basics are covered, you gain the mental clarity and the capital to make moves that actually matter. So, before you hunt for the next big investment, take a look at your household balance sheet. Are you paying more for life than you have to? If you found this perspective shift helpful, hit that subscribe button to keep leveling up your financial game. Remember, real wealth isn't just about how much you make, it's about how smartly you manage what you already have. Ever feel like your pharmacy receipt is a work of fiction designed to drain your bank account? Well, you aren't alone. Even reality stars are feeling the sting, but in a surprising twist, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Brandi Glanville is finding a lifeline in an unexpected place: Mark Cuban's digital pharmacy. Glanville has been drowning in a staggering $200,000 of medical debt stemming from her recent facial disfigurement. But now, the Shark Tank billionaire is stepping in to change the math. It started when Rachel Strauss, the CEO of healthcare consultancy PBM Princess, began auditing Glanville's medical expenses. What she found was truly jaw-dropping, inconsistencies that bordered on predatory. Strauss spent weeks digging through line items, realizing that Glanville had been blindly trusting pharmacy pricing that fluctuated wildly month to month. In some cases, the same life-saving drugs were costing Glanville up to 80% more than they should have. This is exactly why Mark Cuban launched Cost Plus Drugs. The premise is disruptively simple: total transparency. Cuban isn't playing the traditional pharmacy game where prices vary based on your zip code or the mood of the pharmacy manager. Instead, Cost Plus shows you the actual manufacturing cost, adds a flat 15% markup, and a $5 shipping fee. That's it. Cuban has been vocal about why he built this, calling out the blatant greed of pharmacy benefit managers who have spent years charging whatever the market would bear. Strauss notes that if Glanville had been using Cost Plus all along, those $30 prescriptions could have been slashed down to as little as $6. It's a sobering reminder that in the broken healthcare system, we have to be our own fiercest advocates. We aren't just customers, we're targets for inflated pricing that relies on our silence and our trust. This story is a wake-up call for every single one of us. Are you overpaying for your prescriptions without even knowing it? It might be time to pull your receipts and do a little digging of your own. Take control of your health and your wallet and start asking tough questions at your pharmacy counter today. After all, if you don't look out for your own bottom line, who else is going to? Tell me in the comments. Have you ever compared your medication prices against transparent alternatives, and did the results shock you?